Well, welcome back, guys. On this video, we are talking about Love's Complicated, and this is July 2026. Full teasers. Finally, they will marry. A lot of secrets will come out, and this is the month I think everybody have been waiting for in the show. Guys, don't forget to subscribe because you have not subscribed to the channel yet. As we jump straight into the video of today on Love's Complicated, July 2026. Full teasers updates in Starlife.
Writing 1st July 2026. Episode 145. Abhimanyu faces an internal conflict over his growing attachment to Akshara while trying to honor family obligations. Arohi grows increasingly possessive, creating early friction between the Birla and Goenka households. Episode 146. Abhimanyu grows concerned for Manjari's health and prioritizes her well-being, trying to keep mounting Birla Mansion tensions from disrupting his professional duties. 2nd July 2026. Episode 147. Swarna faces emotional pressure after a hidden family dynamic comes to light. The confrontation hints at the deepening emotional ties, pulling Akshara and Abhimanyu closer despite family obstacles. Episode 148. The confrontation's aftermath ripples through both households as the young leads manage internal conflicts while protecting their parents from public scrutiny. 3rd July 2026. Episode 149. Abhimanyu uncovers a deep-seated secret about the Goenka family's past while handling a hospital crisis and shielding a fragile Manjari from escalating domestic trauma. Episode 150. Abhimanyu makes a firm decision about his familial duties after a direct confrontation. Akshara steps in to mediate between the two warring families. 4th July 2026. Episode 151. Manish Goenka seeks common ground to ease Birla Goenka friction. Akshara manages a delicate emotional breakdown to preserve family peace. Episode 152. Akshara and Abhimanyu share a quiet, vulnerable moment away from family drama, but Arohi's rising insecurities begin complicating their dynamic. 5th July 2026. Episode 153. A sudden crisis puts Akshara in difficulty at work. Abhimanyu crosses professional boundaries to support her, deepening tensions with the Birla doctors. Episode 154. A family event is organized to unite both households, but underlying misunderstandings simmer beneath the surface. The unaddressed tension between Akshara and Abhimanyu remains palpable. 6th July 2026. Episode 155. Abhimanyu loses control over his anger regarding a Birla family crisis. Akshara intervenes to prevent the escalating friction from worsening the elder's health. Episode 156. Abhimanyu is visibly traumatized after a major family disaster. Akshara tries to anchor his emotional state while long-hidden secrets begin leaking outside the household. 7th July 2026. Episode 157. The tangled romance and medical family stakes reach a boiling point. Abhimanyu attempts to address a growing domestic rift while shielding Akshara from ongoing friction. Episode 158. Ongoing domestic secrets put immense pressure on both households. The focus shifts to preventing permanent family rifts from impacting fragile elders. 8th July 2026. Episode 159. Abhimanyu reaches his breaking point over accusations against Manjari, warning Hell walk away from his inheritance if her peace is compromised. Akshara soothes his anxiety by singing over a call. Episode 160. Arohi discovers a clue linking Abhimanyu's medical breakthroughs to Akshara's hidden sacrifices. Fearing her sister's closeness with Abhimanyu, she intercepts a critical file to pass it off as her own. 9th July 2026. Episode 161. Manish officially prohibits the sisters from interacting with the Birlas. However, a child's medical emergency at a charitable camp forces Akshara and Abhimanyu to cross paths unexpectedly. Episode 162. Forced to manage the camp crisis together, Akshara accidentally reveals hints of her real feelings before pulling back to maintain family boundaries. 10th July 2026. Episode 163. Arohi arrives at the camp unannounced. Witnessing the undeniable chemistry between the two, she orchestrates a scene to remind Abhimanyu of his obligations toward her. Episode 164. A landslide traps Akshara. Abhimanyu ignores rescue warnings and rushes in to shield her from debris, leaving Arohi deeply resentful. 11 July 2026. Episode 165. The rescue's emotional aftermath deepens the rift between the sisters. Arohi confronts Akshara at home, accusing her of stealing the spotlight and sabotaging her career. Episode 166. Manjari senses Abhimanyu's attachment to Akshara and tries to talk to him. Misreading the situation, Harshvardhan assumes the alliance is with Arohi and plans a sudden proposal. 12th July 2026. Episode 167. The Birlas formally send a marriage proposal to the Goenkas. While Abhimanyu believes he is marrying Akshara, the legal documents explicitly name Arohi, setting up an impending disaster. Episode 168. Akshara faces a profound dilemma as her family favors Arohi's alliance for household peace. She decides to hide her love and step back to keep her sister happy. 13th July 2026. Episode 169. Abhimanyu meets the Goenkas to finalize pre-wedding arrangements and shares an intense, awkward glance with Akshara, completely unaware the families are planning his wedding with Arohi. Episode 170. Confusion peaks during the Tilak preparation. Arohi rejoices while Akshara breaks down privately. Abhimanyu catches a glimpse of Akshara's tears and grows deeply suspicious. 14th July 2026. Episode 171. Abhimanyu arrives expecting to celebrate his marriage to Akshara, but the official documents name Arohi. Despite her heartbreak, Akshara stays silent to protect her sister. Abhimanyu interrupts the ceremony and demands Akshara look him in the eyes and tell him the truth. 15th July 2026. Episodes 172-173. Harshvardhan commands Arohi to report at the Birla hospital due to an emergency. Manjari performs Akshara's Griha Pravesh rituals. While Arohi reports to Abhimanyu at the Birla hospital, Akshara longs for his presence at home. Akshara's rasoi takes place at the Birla mansion. 16th July 2026. Episodes 174-175. When Abhimanyu misbehaves with Harshvardhan over breakfast, Akshara is displeased by his behavior. The Goenkas visit the Birla mansion. While performing the post-wedding rituals, Abhimanyu gives some advice to Akshara. She overhears the Birlas and gets shocked to learn about their plan. 17th July 2026. Episodes 176-177. The staff at the Birla Hospital warmly welcomes Akshara and Abhimanyu after their nuptials. Abhimanyu demands an explanation from Harshvardhan. Akshara organizes a surprise party for Manjari and Harshvardhan's wedding anniversary. Rudra invites Arohi to a gathering at his farmhouse. 18th July 2026. Episodes 178-179. Abhimanyu warns Rudra to stay away from Arohi at the Birla Hospital. The Goenkas surprise Manjari and Harshvardhan on their wedding anniversary. The Birlas say goodbye to Akshara as she leaves for the Goenka mansion. Abhimanyu pays her a surprise visit when she falls sick. 826. 19th July 2026. Episodes 180-181. Kairav and Abhimanyu fight over taking care of an unwell Akshara. Abhimanyu takes a driver's disguise and drives Akshara to a hospital. Abhimanyu tries to get Akshara employed at his friend's hospital. Akshara manages to secure a job. Akshara overhears Harshvardhan talking to Neil. She asks Manjari about Neil's background, and Manjari's response surprises her. 20th July 2026. Episodes 180 to 183. The Birlas wish Akshara luck before she heads to the charitable hospital for duty. Abhimanyu makes a scene afterwards. While Manjari tries to hide her emotion, Akshara gets worried for her. Akshara visits the Birla hospital to collect the DNA report of the Birla family. 21st July 2026. Episodes 184, 185. As Akshara grows anxious to know about the adoption, Abhimanyu briefs her about Neil. Arohi tells her about Neil's DNA test, leaving her shocked. Amid the Birla Hospital's glorious event, Arohi makes Neil aware of his DNA reports. While Abhimanyu tries to comfort him, Manjari falls unconscious. 22nd July 2026. Episodes 186, 187. As Harshvardhan attacks Neil for spoiling the Founders' Day, Abhimanyu briefs about his lineage. Manjari reveals the truth, shattering the Birlas. Neil blames Manjari and Abhimanyu for the absence of a father's love in his life. Manjari blames Akshara for ruining their happiness by revealing the truth. 23rd July 2026. Episodes 188, 189. Arohi finds Neil before Abhimanyu and brings him to the Goenka house. Akshara pleads with Neil to return home for Manjari's sake, but he ignores her. Harshvardhan seeks forgiveness from Manjari for upsetting her, but Abhimanyu doesn't accept the apology. Abhimanyu reveals the truth to the media. 24th July 2026. Episodes 190, 191. Akshara decides not to let the Birlas fall apart and to do her best to reunite Manjari and Neil. Arohi poisons Neil's mind against the Birlas. Harshvardhan learns that he will lose his position as CEO of the hospital unless Manjari forgives him publicly. He tries to manipulate Manjari. 25th July 2026. Episodes 192, 193. Abhimanyu forbids Manjari from forgiving Harshvardhan in front of the media. When an enraged Harshvardhan torments Manjari, Abhimanyu makes a big move. Abhimanyu voices his opinion about getting Manjari and Harshvardhan divorced. Akshara stands against Harshvardhan when he thanks her for the support. 26th July 2026. Episodes 194, 195. A lawyer is called at the Birla mansion as the family assembles to witness Harshvardhan and Manjari's divorce. Akshara gets stuck in the rain with Abhimanyu and tries to make up with him. However, her remark about him makes him furious. 27th July 2026. Episodes 196, 197. Akshara gets furious at Abhimanyu for calling their marriage a mistake, and they stop speaking to each other. She later returns to the Goenka house. Manjari calls Akshara to understand why Abhimanyu is upset and not with her. Akshara hides the truth from her and gives an excuse for staying at home. 28th July 2026. Episodes 198, 199. Akshara and Abhimanyu bump into each other at the temple and Suhasini invites him to the festival. Akshara and Abhimanyu get into an argument. Neil tells Arohi how he got furious at Manjari while he was angry at Harshvardhan. Abhimanyu has a surprise for Akshara. 29th July 2026. Episodes 200, 201. Akshara tries to intercept Abhimanyu when he attempts to reveal the truth to the family. Manjari apologizes to her for misunderstanding her. Despite their dispute, Abhimanyu takes care of Akshara and showers his affection on her. Arohi suspects their behavior. 30th July 2026. Episodes 200 to 203. Abhimanyu and Akshara worry about Suhasini learning of their dispute as she gets hospitalized. Manjari decides to take a stand against Harshvardhan. Akshara and Abhimanyu fall asleep together in Suhasini's room. Arohi makes Kairav realize the truth about Akshara and Abhimanyu, and he confronts Akshara. 31st July 2026. Episodes 204, 205. A furious Kairav confronts Abhimanyu for making Akshara's life pitiable. Abhimanyu blames Akshara for being a liar, and she asks Kairav to back off.